Keto is awesome.
Sir, we've got a match. Nutrition is stabilizing.
If you're doing keto and you're thinking about quitting because you're not getting the results that you want, then make sure you watch the video all the way until the end, because I'm gonna provide you with 5 of the most common mistakes that people make when doing keto. And the purpose of this video is for you to do a little bit of self-reflection and see if perhaps you are doing one of these 5 mistakes. So we're gonna get straight to it. And point number 1, or mistake number 1, is that you're confusing keto with low carb. Now the thing is that keto is a low carb diet, but not all low carb diets are keto. If you want to experience those benefits of keto where you're experiencing more sustained energy thanks to ketosis, if you want to burn fat at a faster rate, then it's imperative that you put yourself in a ketosis state. And the way that you do so is by eating 70% of your calories from fat. And this is where a lot of people mess up. They confuse low carb with keto, and they think they're doing keto, but in reality they're doing low carb. So to give you an example, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm doing keto, and then they're eating 7 ounces of grilled chicken breast with 1 cup of broccoli. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's low carb, but there is no fats in that meal. Now compare that to a keto meal, which let's look at the alternative or the keto version of that, where that would be something like 4 ounces of chicken thigh, and chicken thigh because chicken thigh has fat, and 1 cup of vegetables, and then half slice of avocado, because then now you have your fats compared to the low carb alternative. Or somebody will say, for breakfast, I'm eating 6 egg whites with 4 ounces of turkey bacon, low fat cheese, and vegetables. Nothing wrong with that meal either, but the problem is that's not keto because there's no fats. If you want to make that meal keto, then you have 2 whole eggs with 2 egg yolks with real bacon with a little bit of butter, because that's going to be giving you the fats that you need for that. So with this particular mistake, it's very important that you look at your diet and make sure that you're eating enough fats so that you can put yourself in ketosis, because if you're not, then you're not going to experience those benefits.
To have some steak with his butter.
Mistake number 2 is that you are actually eating carbs. And this one I think just comes down to a little bit of lack of knowledge when it comes to nutrition and understanding what carbs are, what fats are. Because, for example, if somebody thinks that they're doing keto and they follow a ketogenic meal plan, and they don't understand that, for example, potatoes or bread or bananas or orange juice has carbs, the problem here is not so much the carb is bad for them, but it's that they're adding calories on top of calories, because fat is very calorically dense. And if you're adding carbohydrates on top of that, not only are you not going to put yourself in a state of ketosis, but you're not going to be losing weight, you're not going to be burning fat. So what I really think would solve this mistake and the previous one is if you get yourself in the habit of tracking your food in a food tracking app. So it's imperative that if you're starting to do keto and you don't have basic nutrition knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with that, the best way to do it is to get a food tracking app, a calorie tracking app, a macro tracking app that's going to tell you what foods are what, so that you know, okay, well, now I know that bananas have carbs, now I know that potatoes have carbs, now I know that spaghetti has carbs. And then you'll know for sure if that was the reason why you weren't getting the results that you wanted a couple days before or a couple weeks ago. So yeah, you're probably eating too many carbs with your ketogenic diet.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down.
Mistake number 3 is that you keep breaking it. If you want to truly experience the benefits of ketosis, like the ones that I just mentioned previously, like the sustained energy, even enhanced cognitive thinking, that's something that personally, when I do keto, I experience that because of the ketones. You have to put yourself in ketosis. You have to be in ketosis for a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. And this varies, this depends on everybody, but to be safe, for a minimum of 6 weeks, you have to be in a full-on state of ketosis. And what I see a lot, what I read a lot about, is how people will do keto for 1 week, for 2 weeks, and then they break it, they take a break. And that's not really going to help you much, because think about this. You're switching your body's metabolism from glucose to ketones, and your body's just getting in that momentum. And if it's just getting that momentum, and if you break that momentum 10 days in, 11 days in, then your body is going to think, okay, well, we're not actually using ketones, it's carbohydrates. We were just deprived of carbs for a while. So you have to be consistent with it. You can't keep breaking it. Now, once you've entered ketosis, once you've been in ketosis for at least 6 weeks, it's important. This is besides the mistakes, this is more of a tip, but once you've entered ketosis and you've been on it for at least 6 weeks, then it's important that every 2 weeks you break it on a weekend. I mean, don't go crazy, but have some carbs so that you can give your body some metabolic flexibility. But again, that's probably a topic for another time. But nevertheless, for mistake number 3 is you keep breaking it. So if you are doing keto and you're breaking it every week or every other week, it's probably one of the reasons why you're not experiencing the benefits that you want to see.
Would you guys care for a frozen butter pop?
Mistake number 4 is that you don't have a good balance of fats, meaning that you're eating way too many saturated fats and you're neglecting the polyunsaturated fats like the omega-6s and omega-3s. And this one comes down to more of, this is more of a topic of balanced nutrition and how your body responds to inflammation. So I think the problem with the way that keto gets advertised is bacon, butter, and egg yolks, whereas they don't advertise some of the other healthier fats such as fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, chia seeds, nuts, avocados, which is a monounsaturated fat. You should also be getting those kinds of fat. Like, don't get me wrong, one of the cool things about keto is that you can do brisket, you could do fatty meats, you could do whole eggs, bacon, but don't neglect the polyunsaturated fats such as the omega-3s and the omega-6s, primarily omega-3s, and you're gonna find those in mackerel, salmon, sardines, chia seeds, flax seeds, and avocados. So make sure that you have a balance with your fats and you're not just stuck with butter, bacon, and fatty meats. So make sure that you're also incorporating those polyunsaturated fats as well.
Thanks to you, America knows what to eat again.
And finally, mistake number 5 is probably the most common mistake, because if you are doing let's say that you are covering the other 4 points that we just talked about and you're still not getting the results that you want, then it's probably this one right here, and that is that you are overeating, that you're eating too much. If you're new to keto, or if you've been doing your research on keto, you've been watching YouTube videos, you've been going to Google, finding other people's experiences on it, I'm sure you're going to come across a lot of smart people who are gonna tell you that it doesn't matter how much you're eating as long as it's low carb, high fat, because your hormones are gonna balance and it's gonna cure global warming and you're gonna grow 3 inches taller. Like, all these cool things are gonna happen when you're doing this because it's all hormones. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, keto can definitely help many populations, and there are cases where I do recommend keto, especially for people with menopause, perimenopause, endometriosis, PCOS, those types of populations. Like, yes, you're gonna have a better hormonal response to the negative energy balance, but what counts at the end of the day is what I just said, negative energy balance. So if you're eating 3 pounds of meat every single day and 4 omelets and 6 fat bombs every day, and you're not losing weight, even if you're doing everything right, it's because you're overeating. So keep in mind that energy balance does matter even if you're doing keto. And yeah, I'll be the first to tell you that keto can make weight loss a lot easier for certain populations, like the ones that I just mentioned, because it gives you a better satiety. You're able to adhere to it. It gives you more accountability. I mean, there's many benefits with keto, and definitely you could probably see results a little bit faster versus if you're doing carbs. But at the end of the day, energy balance does matter. So make sure that you are paying attention to how much you're eating, because if you are overeating, regardless of what miracle diet, regardless of what sexy diet is going on right now, you're not gonna lose weight. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Bottom line, 5 reasons you may not be seeing results with keto. 1, you're confusing it with low carb. 2, you're eating too many carbs. 3, you keep breaking it. 4, you're eating too many saturated fats and you're not eating enough of the healthier fats of the unsaturated fats like omega-6s and omega-3s. And number 5, you're overeating. So hopefully you found that video helpful. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.